Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Captain Swan podcast number 90. I'm Serena, Savior out on Tumblr, and these are the people with me today.
I'm Lisa, and I'm You Brought Me Home.
I'm Michelle, and I'm to the end of the world or time.
I'm Rams, and I'm Aloha Forever.
Okay, so this is a small, intimate podcast, just us. And we wanted to start by pointing out that this is episode number 90 of this podcast. We've been on air for how long? Is it 2 or 3 years? Three,
We
maybe?
started in
We,
season 3.
season 3, yes, it's season 3. And so we are, our episode 100 is coming up. So we wanted to know everyone's ideas about what we should do in this episode. So there are various options. One we we proposed, we were talking about earlier, was just having a special episode talking about our favorite Captain Fun moments, Captain Fun quotes, and so on. Another possibility is having an episode talking about the Captain Fun fandom, so our favorite writers and art makers, and maybe some milestones of the fandoms. Like us, we remember them, like when the fandom started, and so on. So these were just a few ideas we were talking about earlier, but we want to know what you think. So you can send us a message on our Tumblr, captainfunpodcast.tumblr.com. You can send us your ideas and we will discuss them and let you know what we decide. So let's start with the episode then. Michelle, do you want to ask the first question?
Yeah, but our first question is technically about the last podcast.
Okay.
It's from Anonymous, and it says, thanks for talking about Anna and Will in the last podcast. I was sad they dropped their story. And it was the same actress for Anna's mom and Lady T. Could it be more obvious that Anna was supposed to be there? They really dropped the ball on them, and we all know they plan to have Anastasia as Cinderella's sister.
Yeah, I think it's obvious that that was what they had in mind when they wrote Wonderland, and then they probably couldn't get the actors back because obviously it was gonna be just a small part, and she probably didn't want to go to Canada for that. So yeah, that's my idea. They couldn't get the actors back.
But what we were saying last week, they could have cast like a generic blonde girl, and it still would have done the same thing. Like they could have still confirmed that it was Anastasia, that she was, because I mean it wouldn't be Emma, the girl who played her, but it would be some generic blonde girl, and we would be able to connect the dots. But no, they just went with some brunette for some reason.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe there is a third sister who was, I don't know, in the other room, and that's Anastasia. She was just conveniently in the other room for all the important scenes. She was napping. I don't know.
Maybe
think-
after the whole debacle with Will Scarlet, they just decided to just not bother with Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
Maybe.
I would think that they would be more concerned about the fact that this woman was so concerned about her own life and what she wanted that, yeah, she took the one daughter, but she totally just abandoned
I
her
know.
other child. She abandoned her other
Yeah, what the
child.
hell?
God only knows what happened to the other daughter, the one with
The
the
one not
line,
Anastasia.
the one line in the whole movie, in the whole episode, just disappeared.
Well, she probably got caught up in the curse, so I'm sure she's somewhere.
Probably.
Probably married the baker or something. Who knows?
Maybe she had the best life out of them all. No drama, no problems, just chilling. Okay, let's go to the next question.
Okay, this next batch of questions is about Jekyll and Hyde. And the first one is from Anonymous. I thought this episode was very good, and I like Jekyll was the monster instead of Hyde. What do you guys think?
I liked it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't one of those episodes that made me mad, so I count that as a win.
I actually kind of appreciated the twist because I know how good of an actor that Sam Witwer is, and I didn't want him to be caged in just one version of this role. I'm glad that they were able to expand the character more and show that wow, this is really different. That it was Hyde wasn't, he had his dark side, but he wasn't necessarily like the bad person, and the reason why he was so angry and did the things he did was because he lost someone that he loved. And the ironic thing about it was
Gee, who does that remind you of?
that the obsessive personality wasn't him, that it was actually Jekyll physically imposing, like I really enjoyed seeing stretch his wings and be the actor that I know that he's capable of after seeing him for 4 years and being human. I know this guy's got chops, and he finally managed to come out of that shell and really just pull it all out. So it was really good.
Yeah, but they did it just to kill him. It was very annoying.
Yeah,
like,
that
really?
that was the only part. That was the only part that I didn't like. I was like, well, wait a minute. This is only episode 4. What?
Yeah, I was
Here's the
surprised.
thing.
Like that they were gonna.
Here's the thing about
stretch
this.
it all out to last the entire season. They kill him off within the first 4 episodes. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. But here's the thing with this Jekyll and Hyde thing. This is not the first time they've done this. They did it in Neverland, where Peter Pan was the villain and Killian was not ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is a twist that they've done where you think the hero is not the hero, he's actually the villain, and the thing person you think is the villain is not. So it's not like this is original.
Yeah, I feel like the hero is actually the villain, is the oldest trick in the book, and they should really think about some more interesting twists because
I just feel like they cut it too soon, because there was still questions about his motivations that weren't answered. Like, why did you want to come to the land without magic?
Oh, we have a question.
Why did you want to see all the stories played out? He just cut it off before we could.
Yeah, we have a question about that.
I feel like they originally planned to have a longer story with Jekyll and Hyde, and then for some reason they cut it short.
Mm-hmm.
But they've said this whole time that the arcs, barring the evil queen, because they just can't let go of the evil queen, are going to be like 3-4 episodes long, and this, not counting the finale last year, was 4 episodes.
When did they say that?
They said that at Comic-Con, that the arcs are going to be smaller.
Yeah, I think at Comic-Con it was after they have already started writing and filming the season. I feel this was a feeling I got from when they introduced the story in last season. Like when they introduced it and the 2 characters, it was with a longer story in mind. But then I remember the first episode, they had a lot of reshoots. It was a lot of things, they changed a lot. So I feel like somewhere between writing episode 3 and 4 and while they were shooting episode 1, they changed their mind about this storyline.
I agree. I think the last season finale, they definitely planned for Jekyll and Hyde to be a much longer story arc, but somewhere during the hiatus, they changed their minds, or maybe the ABC execs made them change the story.
I would believe that.
Because they must have heard that the finale wasn't received well, And maybe they thought, oh, it's because of the Jekyll and Hyde thing, and they didn't think about the fact that, well, splitting Regina in half wasn't really a brilliant move.
Or
Uh,
introducing the next season before the before the
Mm-hmm.
season that's currently airing is not finished
Right.
was a bad plan.
yeah, and then they've started with the Aladdin and Savior story. That probably tasted better than Jekyll and Hyde, because I mean, most people watching Once Upon a Time are in it for the fairy tales, not for Jekyll and Hyde. So yeah, I think that was a last minute change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm still sad that we lost Sam Witwer though.
Yeah,
He
it
was
was
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
really good in the role. Jekyll was really a nice guy, like a nice guy as a trope, not
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
nice.
he had nice guy syndrome.
Yes, he was
Definitely.
like Neil in a way.
Like Bagel.
Yeah,
Yep.
I just want to point out though that for as much as Adam and Eddie say that they love the fans' input, but at the end of the day they're writing their own story and they really don't let the fans' desires influence the way that they're writing. They already kind of contradicted themselves when they were discussing um, in their latest interview about the comeback, or not the comeback, but Robin's thing that they're doing. They outright said that we realized that his death wasn't received well by the audience. We know they were upset, and we get a lot of tweets and a lot of messages from them saying that there was no reason for him to die. So we wanted to give the audience the closure that we feel that they deserve. So it's like, oh, so you're caving to the Outlaw Queen's people's
Oh no,
craziness.
that's the network going to Adam and Eddie saying you need to fix this or your ratings are going to tank.
I don't
They
know.
are
I
like,
don't think the network actually cares about Robin. Otherwise, they would have done like they did with Charming and said, "No, you
Mm-hmm.
can kill it. No, you can kill him." I'm sorry, I called Robin it.
oh no,
You can
oh
kill
dear.
him. Full stop. But they
Or
didn't
is
do
it that,
this.
or is it maybe that the fans weren't getting what they wanted out of Adam and Eddie, so they took it a step further and went up to and started sending messages to
Well,
the. Because I know for a fact, being on the advisory boards, they blew up those fucking boards. They
Yeah,
blew them the fuck up, going
yeah,
crazy.
yeah, they
but
did.
people
So
have been complaining to Adam and Heddy and to the network and to whatever since season two, probably.
Yeah.
And
But
the
here's the
fandoms,
difference. No, but here's the difference. This is about Regina. This is about Regina's happy ending, and people
yeah,
and the evil Regals feel like she got robbed, and they cave to the evil Regals except for Swan Queen. They won't do that, but they'll do this.
but they didn't actually cave if he's not actually back. I mean, they kind of sort of caved in the Hector is back, but they're not resurrecting him. So I mean, they won't be happy anyway. I
Well, it
mean, we'll
depends on
see.
what the closure is, though.
I guess
I
we'll see.
mean, if it's what people are speculating, then they might be happy with that.
I'm
I
not.
do.
I don't know what people are speculating. Maybe you'll after we answer the question about the episode and we start talking about the spoiler, we can go back to this because
Yeah,
I'm not
remind me
sure.
and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm not sure what people are speculating. We can talk about it later. Rams, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What?
I don't remember what I said. Oh, we were talking about Robin. Okay. No, I can't believe that there are that many Outlaw Queen fans. Honestly, I don't. I just think that
Well,
Adam and Eddie got bored writing for Robin, so they killed him off. And when they were planning the story for season 6, this was one of the story arcs for Regina. So they decided to bring him back. That's all I think it is.
Well, remember, it wasn't just the Outlaw Queen fans. It was Outlaw Queen and Swan Queen and one other fandom like united all together to like harass them about
Oh
it.
yeah, they were pretending to care, right?
Exactly. They were pretending to care until Robin actually comes back, and then they reveal that they really don't give a shit.
Right. Right. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, fandom
Trust me,
politics at its finest.
I have seen that. I've seen these people online and how loud they can really be. After episode 521 aired, they flipped a shit because uh of Emma and Killian kissing apparently too close to Robin's grave. But really, you have to remember why they're so vocal. It's not necessarily because they give a shit about Robin. These people are like displaced outlaw or displaced Swan Queen fans or displaced evil Regal fans that have nowhere else to put their energy towards. So they put it all towards Outlaw Queen because it's really all about Regina. Honestly.
Okay, so let's go to the next question.
Okay, this one's from Daniela, and it says, "What did you think of the Jekyll and Hyde we already talked about? And what are your thoughts and feelings that Hyde and that girl Mary are one more couple on Once Upon a Time that has banged before Captain Swan?"
We should admit that Captain Swan has banged and we just
Yeah.
didn't see it. At this
Yes.
point,
Yes.
Yes.
I was
Anyone
too
here
distracted.
agree with that?
I
I was,
agree.
yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Agreed.
Okay.
I was too distracted by that girl being the annoying girl from the Vampire Diaries to pay attention to what was happening. I was just distracted. She looked and sounded exactly the same, and I was expecting her to start crying about Stefan or her baby
See,
or whatever.
she must have been on after I quit watching because I didn't recognize her.
Yeah, she had a baby with Stefan. Spoiler
Oh
What?
alert.
my. What?
What?
Wait, what the hell are you talking
How?
about?
What is happening?
She did, the baby died. I mean, she miscarried, but she was
Was
going to have a baby with Stefan.
was this like a
Are you
Before
flashback
he
talking
or
was
about?
a
something?
vampire.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Before he was a
Ah,
I was about to
vampire,
say
he
what?
got her pregnant when he was human.
Oh, okay.
interesting.
Wait a minute. So that means he was with somebody. Sorry to derail, but that means he was with somebody before Catherine?
It is
I don't.
possible, you know.
Because
I
Catherine's the one who turned him into a vampire.
yes, yes. He must have been. Yes, of course.
Oh man. Okay.
And then I think she erased his memory. She was like a witch. Are we talking about the
I
most
don't know.
boring storyline of the Vampire Diaries? Like,
Moving on.
we aren't even talking about the interesting Vampire Diaries storylines, just boring ones. Okay, what was the question? The girl, she was fine, whatever.
Hmm.
I mean, I agree
Since I
that she
haven't,
and go ahead.
since I haven't watched Vampire Diaries, I didn't have this issue. I think I like her. She definitely showed a difference between the way she responded to Jekyll and the way she was really attracted to Hyde. You could tell that she was instantly attracted, and I felt they had good chemistry. I
I did
actually
too.
really liked, yeah, I really liked their whole interactions together. It was great.
But here's what's hilarious to me: that they're okay with having this Mary girl break, Victorian norms to sleep with Hyde on their first date, but they can't show Captain Swan post-coital to me. I mean, I
Right.
agree that they've had the sexy times already, but Regina and Robin doing it in the crypt. Now you're doing this with Hyde and Mary. Where's my post-coital scene, writers? Where is it?
Trust me, we know your pain. I didn't really have any opinion on Mary either way. I was kind of neutral to it. I liked the story, and I liked the way that she acted it for the twist. Um, I felt she was a little. I mean, I understand that sometimes people are just opposites, and as much as you might love someone, sometimes they just can't give you what you want. But I felt like he at least deserves to be treated like a human being. I'm talking about Jekyll. I mean, he pretty much laid his heart out on his sleeve for her, and she stomped it into the ground.
Yeah, that's her right. She doesn't owe him a goddamn
I
thing.
understand that, but I mean, do you really have to act that?
And then he killed
Like
her.
a bitch.
Then he killed her.
I know.
It's Rumple. This is the exact same thing Rumple did to Mila, okay?
I'm not trying to justify what he did, but when she was talking with Hyde at the bridge there, I mean, she was just foaming at the mouth talking about how he was, not exciting enough or not this or that. And I'm like, God, this guy, okay. The least you could do is, not treat him like less of a human. I mean, come
But
on.
see, no, if we hadn't already had the whole, bit earlier, I think it was earlier with Jekyll and Belle on the Jolly, when he's like, she would have been mine, and all like, yee. I was like, from that point on, I already knew that you were a fuckhead, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, when he said that to Belle, then I was kind of like, oh, okay. He's possessive, like really possessive. Wow. All right.
I don't think she was really disrespectful to him until she woke up with him in her bed instead of Hyde. And then she already was thrown off, and then he was acting all judgmental about, you brought him here. That's when she got angry and said, you're pathetic or whatever. Until then, she was just, when she rejected Hyde, when she rejected Jekyll to Hyde, I don't think she was being disrespectful. She was just explaining her reasons why she would never be able to love Jekyll, which I thought, was reasonable for her to say because Hyde had come as his agent.
And I totally get why that she has every right to be pissed at him the morning after, because what he did to her is de facto rape. I mean, she had no idea that it was actually, Jekyll. So he pretty much sexually assaulted her. So yeah, she has every right to be pissed. Every right.
And then he killed her.
Is this Mary supposed to be Mary Riley from the book?
I'm assuming yes.
Because Mary Riley was his assistant, right?
Yeah.
From the movie? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little confusing if she was supposed to be Mary Riley or not.
Because Mary Riley, she was the only one that matters. She was the only one that knew what he really was. Because she, she would watch him and she saw how he was falling apart. But I don't think in the book it never really got that far.
Well, given this show's history with the nice guy trope, I'm not surprised they went there with this particular version at all.
I think Hyde should have definitely told her that he was the alter ego of Jekyll, because it wasn't Jekyll's fault that he didn't tell her, it was Hyde who hid it. So it would have been interesting to see her react to Hyde after she found out, the reveal that they were both the same person. I think that would have been interesting.
Still, though, at the end of the day, it's like, yes, I know Jekyll made his own decisions, his own choices to drink the serum, because as much as Rumple was trying to influence him, everybody has a choice. They have said no, but he didn't. So yes, Jekyll has his own part to play. But again, this is, at the end of the day, it's like this is another instance of Rumple destroying lives. Benefit. He thought that drinking the serum would remove the part of him that loved or had feelings for Belle. That's not how it works, douchebag. Not in this case. But, oh well.
Jekyll also didn't mean to kill Mary. There is a difference between him and Rumple in that sense, though. You know what I mean?
Tend to kill Belle.
Oh yeah, as far as Belle goes, yeah, definitely. At
So as
that
far as I'm
point, she
concerned,
completely,
dude's a murderous psycho.
yeah.
And for all the people online that are going on about, oh, Hook killed a person. Okay.
Oh wait, wait,
That
wait.
was
We've got questions about that. Everybody chill.
because, yeah, I got some words to say to those people. But go ahead.
Okay, so this next question is from Ro, who is also not here. I've been underwhelmed with the Jekyll and Hyde storyline ever since the finale, and now that it's ended, I can't help but wonder what was the point of the finale ending being only about Hyde arriving in town. We'd have been better off with a reveal or hint of Aladdin for the last scene of season 5, but instead we got the Ego Queen. if, the, if the writers plan now to focus on Aladdin and Emma's savior connection, I'm all for it, especially if Jafar will be returning as the big bad. What do you all think?
Ego Queen is a great ship name for Regina and the Evil Queen, which is the perfect ship for her. Like
Oh
they
my
get
gosh.
together and no one else has to suffer. Uh, I don't know. Someone has an answer? I mean, yeah, it wasn't a great storyline. It was good actors, and it wasn't really bad, like offensively bad. But I could take it or leave it, and now it's left us.
I just here's my thing. I get that they wanted to explore these dual sides. Okay, that's fine. But every time that they have a Regina storyline, I don't know whether they mean to do it or not, but it winds up taking over everything. Season 5A was supposed to be about Emma battling this darkness and her journey. And even that almost got shelved to the side. Even in 5B, the journey to find Hook and accepting her love for her and all this almost got shelved completely to the side for Queen and her desperate needs. And now this storyline is like you got Emma, who has a very important storyline about this savior curse, who can't even if you measure up like the screen time where they talk about her curse to what's going on with Queen, that shit's taking over everything. And it should be more about what Emma's going through. I'm not saying that of the other, but they should at least have some equality, and they don't. It's like as if you don't have enough storylines with Regina in the first place. You dedicate premiere her finales. What else does this woman need? Every flashback is about her. What else do you need? I mean, seriously. Emma is the protagonist of the damn series, and she can't even get a full contingent of episodes on her own storyline. It's just so frustrating.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what the point of this whole of the now that we've seen the Jekyll and Hyde thing play out. I don't know what the point was of Hyde making the deal with Rumple to take over the town. Like now it makes no sense.
Why was he obsessed with bringing all those people to Storybrooke? They never explained that.
Nobody knows. No,
Why
they
was,
never said
yeah,
anything
why did he
important
bring them over?
like that.
It makes zero sense.
The only thing that's going to make sense is if he made some sort of deal with Jafar. If Hyde made some sort of deal with Jafar to bring Aladdin to Storybrooke to force his story to finish playing out, then that will make sense.
But
If that's the
even
case,
then,
then who
why does he
knows?
care? I mean, if it's just about revenge on Rumple, I would
Well, we haven't.
understand.
Yeah.
It's like they
Well,
took
that's what I'm
this.
saying. Hyde must have made a deal with Jafar, and Rumple just gave him the wherewithal to carry it out. I mean,
Mm.
that has to be the connection. Otherwise, this makes no sense.
It's almost like they took the plot device with Belle in the box. So obviously that was why Rumple gave Hyde the town, so that he could get the. So Hyde would tell him how to get Belle out the box and how to wake her up. It's like they took that small plot device and blew it up into this massive plot line that really wasn't supposed to be that big to begin with. Edge it out. I don't see how they couldn't. Sam Witwer is a dynamic and amazing actor, and if they'd given him the opportunity to do more, I can guarantee you he would have gone full throat into this role.
See,
But they just cut it off
and
before
this is
being able.
yes. See, this is a case where I think what we were talking about earlier applies, where it
You put,
sounded good at the time where they created it in the season 5 finale, and then they had to actually get into how to break it down when they were breaking the season 6 story and realized it didn't work as well as they thought it would. So they had to figure out a way to shorten it up and get rid of it.
So bizarre.
because I mean, what kind of threat did he really think the untold stories were going to pose? So far, they haven't done shit except wandering around trying to figure out, how to acclimate to the modern world. None of them really pose a threat to anybody.
Well,
It's just about theirs.
that's where I think Aladdin and Jasmine come in, which we will get to in a little bit.
That's why when you're saying it wouldn't make sense if he had made a deal with Jafar to get out of that land, or to bring him over so that Aladdin's story could be played out.
So you think Jafar wanted to come to Storybrooke?
Yes, I think because it seems clear that Aladdin, fleed to the land of untold stories because he was afraid of his story playing out. He must have some sort of savior curse. So he would flee to the land of untold stories. His story can never play out. And Jafar's like, "Whoa, Nelly, that can't happen." With Hyde to get everybody, it's really just Aladdin, but the consequences, everybody's coming.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that's going to make sense is if we find out later down the line that Hyde and Jafar have some sort of are in cahoots.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
So you think maybe that Aladdin and Jasmine went still to the land of untold stories because
No, I think Aladdin went himself. I think
Maybe
Aladdin's
in Storybrooke.
because Jasmine clearly doesn't know where he is. She thinks he's in Storybrooke somewhere, but I don't think she knew where he was before that. And I think that princess she was talking about was herself. But we haven't got to Jasmine yet. We will.
So he went to the land of untold stories not only to get rid of Jafar but also to.
No. It doesn't have anything to do with Jafar. He went there because he didn't want to die.
But what about Jasmine? She was in the land of untold stories. She would have met Aladdin.
No, she wasn't. They said she wasn't.
She was there. That's where she came from.
No, she said herself that she came over with the first curse.
Am I imagining this then? I mean,
I don't know. I think we're all confused. They didn't really make it clear.
I'm pretty sure she came from with the dirigible.
All I know is that she and Oracle Girl were shady. Because she cleared... we're going to talk about Jasmine in a little bit. We got questions on that. The next batch of questions are on everybody's favorite Bro TP.
Yay! Captain Bug!
Yes. And I prefer that name over Captain Beauty because Captain Beauty sounds more like a ship name, as in you like them together romantically. So I like the other way. But anyway, the first one is from Daniela, and it says, "Did anyone love and like Captain Beauty's friendship scenes?" Yes.
Yes.
I actually, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, I like Captain Beauty, Captain Book, whatever, much more than Captain Charming.
I'm with you, Serena.
I feel like they've developed it better, and Belle is more supportive of Killian, and I don't know. I just I like the way they interact better. They haven't developed Captain Charming well.
And see, so Serena, I totally understand where you're coming from because Captain Charming seems to be a thread they pick up when they want it to cause drama and put down when they don't, and it's never consistent, and it drives me bananas as much as I love them.
Yeah, I feel like Captain Beauty Book, like they seem like they're actual friends, while Captain Charming, when they have scenes, it just seems, Like they remember they should do something with them, and so they just throw a storyline or a scene. While it- Killian and Belle seem more true to me.
Charming,
I
Agreed.
I don't think, despite everything, he's not like 100% okay with Hook, as we clearly saw in even this last episode. I think there's always going to be a bit of a reserve between them, especially because he's dating Emma. I don't think it can ever be that complete friendship dynamic between them. But with Belle and Hook, they're not really connected with each other. They don't really have to interact. So their friendship was more naturally developed. And it's been kind of gradual too. In fact, to be honest, I only got completely on board with Hook and Belle's friendship this season because he really apologized to her. I mean, he's always been good to her ever since season 4, but I feel like they completely are honest and they're relaxed and casual with each other, and they've put the past behind them. And he understands the whole Rumple thing much better than anybody else can, you know. So I think they have that understanding and bonding between them, which has really developed, especially this season. So it's definitely one of my favorite aspects of season 6.
I'm just glad that I'm so thrilled that Killian has friends outside of Emma. As much as I love Captain Swan, it's important that he develops friendships with people outside of her, so that he has real roots in that town and outside of the charming family. So to have Belle is a good starting place to developing other friendships. And yeah, you are very right that it developed in a natural way that isn't quite the same as Charming. With Charming, there's always going to be that level of, there because he's dating Charming's daughter. But I don't think he's like gone back to season 4, I don't trust you type stuff. That whole breakfast scene to me was just him, it's just David being David. I think he really meant anything harsh by it. I mean, as a parent, I get it.
We've got
He
questions on this too, actually.
he likes Hook. He's always gonna like Hook. Hook is probably his best friend.
I
But
don't know about that.
as a
Let's be real. Charming has no friends. He has no friends who are not Snow's friends.
so really, he does have a particular closeness with Hook, or he would not have gone down to the underworld to help Emma get him back.
Well, that was partly for Emma's sake. I'm not saying that he doesn't like Hook, but I think Captain Charming is really fun as a fandom thing, but I don't really think there's any that much basis for it in the show. I think Cook has come to like and respect. I'm sorry, David has come to like and respect Hook a lot, and he finally, I think, trusts him too. But
Well,
at the
But
same
again,
time,
this comes
it's
back.
not.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this comes back to what we were talking about earlier: is that the show picks it up and picks it up when they need it to do something, and drop it when it
Mm,
doesn't. They don't develop it consistently,
that's why
right.
I'm
and
really
that
interested
drives
to
me
see.
nuts.
This is why I'm really interested to see the subplot with David and Hook and how it plays
But
out.
see, that's the thing, though. We haven't seen them do anything, bro, at all this
Right.
year. So when this, drama pops up with Charming's dad, it's gonna look like it comes out of nowhere because we haven't seen Hook and Killian and David like hanging out, like having a drink at the rabbit hole or anything. They haven't even been on an adventure together this year
Well,
yet.
let's be real. There's very little time
I
for
mean,
them to.
They have time for Snow to hang out with Regina. Let's all be real. They have
I
time for
know.
Snow to hang out with Regina and all this other bullshit that don't make sense. But yet, this Captain Charming, you wanted to have a big storyline, but you're not going to show them. This is the thing that they do. They do it with Hook and with Henry and Hook too,
Mm-hmm.
where it's another thing that just pops up when they feel like it's important, and then they drop it any other time. Like in the season 4 finale, when Henry says to deckhand Killian, you're the one who taught me all this stuff. And we're all like, when did this happen? We never saw it happen. So we're like, what
And
the
yeah,
hell?
and this is Adam and Eddie's favorite excuse. It all occurred off screen.
So
I
I'm
think
sure.
actually Henry and Killian's relationship is better developed in the show than Captain Charming, to be honest.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but again, this is another case where I'm sure the writers think that Killian and David have a stronger relationship than it appears to us, the audience, that they do, because they're
Mm,
aware of all of the off-screen stuff that happens. Like they can just make it up in their head because they're the writers.
right.
You know what I
But
And they
mean?
don't realize that we have to see them.
but
Exactly.
but as a parent, I get it. I get it as a parent because as much as he likes Hook and respects Hook, there's always going to be that level of there
Weirdness.
because because as a dad, no one
He's,
will ever be good enough for his daughter.
But apparently he was
but
okay
No
with
one.
Bagel. That's the part I don't like. I
yes,
can't get
yes,
over it.
thank
I'm
you.
sorry. I just can't get over it.
I understand this, and if she had actually come out and told them the real truth, I'm sure we all would have gotten the punch in the face that we really wanted. But being the mother of a daughter, okay, trust that I understand this. No one, he could be the most perfect guy on the face of the fucking planet, and Charming is still going to find a reason to grumble, grumble, grumble because
Even if
he's his
Emma
little girl.
Even if Emma didn't tell them the complete truth, they must have put two and two together to know that, well, Emma had Henry as a teenager and she didn't even bother to find out why they're together. I mean, come on, guys. It's not believable. It's
Yeah, it's
not
not rocket
consistent.
science.
It's not consistent characterization. Like, I get that Charming has these he's a little old fashioned. Everybody has flaws, I agree. He's a little old fashioned, so he can feel like, oh, okay, this guy is dating my daughter, but he never exhibited that with Neil.
And
That's
Neil is the
why
one who actually fucked Emma over.
I know.
Well,
That's why I find it hard to
and
take.
let's remember his writing was choppy as shit, especially during the back half. So there's a lot of stuff that could have been included that was not because they had to rewrite so much stuff. Either way, Snow
And
is
that's even before
obviously
they
the more,
started on the Saint Bagel narrative.
Uh-huh.
but Snow is
It's really
obviously
annoying.
the more progressive one of the two.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
She is
she has to
more
be. She married a shepherd.
she's more willing to
That's a
she's
good
not as old
point.
fashioned. She let because and it's also because she and Emma had this established friendship before they realized they were mother and daughter. So there is also that
But that's another
dynamic.
thing that's been completely dropped. Like
I
Emma
know,
and Snow have like no relationship now. I
I
mean, how
know,
many times has Emma had these tremors in front of her own mother and she has nothing to say?
I know,
She
I
asks
know.
one question, "Are you okay?" Emma says, "Yeah, I'm fine," but her motherly instincts aren't telling her that her daughter's lying to her teeth. Really? But no,
Trust
she's
me,
all worried about Queen Queen.
trust me, I know. Because every time she asked about Emma, like in the first episode when it first started to happen, the tone in her voice when she asked, she was like, "Hey, Emma, are you okay?" Like I was like, that doesn't really sound like you have very much concern there. What? But Regina could sneeze and she would like throw a fucking fit. Mm. But the point I was trying to make is that while I don't believe that David hates Hook, I don't believe that he's reverting back to season 4. Oh, stay away from my daughter, Hook. I think he's just old-fashioned, overprotective father mode. He didn't get the chance to do that when she was growing up, so now let's say he's taking advantage of it, but not in a bad way. He's just an old-fashioned guy. He's a dad.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Okay. Our next question is from Mai. And she says that she just wanted to say that I'm so proud of Belle and wanted to ask you guys about what we think of the mermaid shell magic. I thought it was adorable.
Yeah, I was proud of Belle too. I hope she keeps it up. I doubt it, but I hope so for her
Yeah.
sake and her child's sake. And yeah, it was cute. I hope they can fix it.
I mean, it was adorable, and I too am proud of Belle. Go Belle. The spine that you seem to have grown. But for me, the show is like so weird that they'll have a magical solution when a perfectly modern technical one will work, and a technical modern solution when you have magic. Like Rumpel at the beginning is sitting there fiddling with that watch with the tweezers and stuff, and I'm like, you have magic, dumbass. What are you doing? And then we have Killian with the shell. He's like, here, use this shell to call me, because apparently your cell phone doesn't work. And I can't work the talking phone. And I'm like, what?
Well, in that one instance, I didn't actually mind because Killian doesn't really feel comfortable with modern technology. Plus, in the time she took up the phone to call Killian, then, it would have been too late. So maybe in this instance, we can just let it go.
Well, I was not, obviously, when I made this observation, I was not aware that just yelling into it from a distance would work. Because, I mean, seriously, the thing is almost a foot away from her face when she yells, help Killian, and he still managed to hear her, which is fine.
Is that?
But
is
then
that
my favorite part was when she stabbed Jekyll with the pointy end of the shell.
That was awesome.
Was
Belle
that-
could have gotten herself out if not for the protection spell that Rumpel put it,
Yes, Rumpel's protection actually wound up putting her in more danger. Thanks a lot, fuckhead.
Yeah, thanks,
that-
Rumpel.
was that shell the same one he used in season 5 to call
Yes,
Ursula in the forest?
yes.
Oh man, now you can't call Ursula.
Oh,
You have a chat no
consistency.
more.
I'm impressed.
But that's where I was. No, he used it to call. Well, he used it to call Ursula, and he used it to call Ariel.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I appreciated that it was the same shell, but I was like, really? We're not using the phone? Okay.
I was definitely pissed about the force field because it seemed like Rumpel's brain cells just died. I'm like, okay, you're keeping her on this ship in a force field, which means that she can't get out. But you're not protecting it against someone that can get in. You're saying that Hyde can't get in, but that isn't the only person that can get on board. You don't think he's smart enough to figure out another way to get through that? We're talking about Hyde here. This is a dude who outsmarted your scraggly crocodile ass. Trust me, if he could outsmart you, he can find a way through your magic barrier, and he did. So he's stuck standing there going, I can't bring it down. He's got. How many times does people get their hands on his sword on his dagger anyway? It's like, dude,
That was hilarious.
You're the worst doggo, man. You can't ever protect your damn dagger. Everybody and his mother in that town has had their hands on that dagger.
I laughed so hard. I was like, oh, Rumpel, you are so dumb.
He's like, I can't do anything, Belle. I'm stuck. And he has to stand idly by while Killian Jones saves his wife.
On the same deck in which Rumpel killed Mila, let's point that out.
Mm-hmm.
Love it, love it, love it. Oh, and for those people that are having issues about Hook killing Jekyll, would you rather him just stood there and let him kill Belle or cause her to miscarry the baby? Because I guarantee if he had done that, you guys would have been even louder. So yeah.
Okay,
shut the fuck
well,
up.
we have a question about this, like I said. It is from another Anon. And they said, what are your thoughts on Killian finally getting the chance to finish off one of the show's villains for a change, even if it's not what he intended to happen? To be honest, I don't think what he did really calls for much reflection. Bella's his friend, her life was in danger, and he acted on instinct. The same as Charming did when Robin was attacked trying to save Regina from Percival. The difference is that nobody is likely to miss Jekyll or Hyde.
I mean, it was fine. The thing that drives me crazy about this stuff is that, okay, Killian killing was fine in this case because he was protecting his friend. But then when like Snow kills Cora, it was just terrible. When Emma kills Cruella, it was terrible. It's like they pick and choose which time murder is fine and which time it's not. It drives me crazy.
Or like Regina this year with the Count of Monte Cristo.
Yeah, because
although in this case the difference is Killian wasn't actually trying to kill him. It was an accident, sort of, like the being impaled, you
Kicking him onto
know.
a harpoon.
I don't know if he meant to kick him onto a harpoon as much as
Well,
he
no,
could
he
have he could
probably
have
didn't.
stabbed him. He could have
He
easily
probably
stabbed him. He
well,
didn't.
yeah. He could yeah, he could I mean there's places to stab people that are not lethal. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I'm just
Get him to the
saying that.
hospital and he would have been fine.
Right. I'm just saying that. Yeah, there's definitely a double standard, but in this case, I actually don't think he meant to even kill him.
But nobody bats an eye when Killian kills all them guards when they're fighting at what's the face King Midas's castle. Like them guards did not get
Yeah,
away
yeah,
alive. And
definitely.
how many guards has Charming killed? Like random Black Knights or whatever.
What
Like
about Ruby, right? I mean,
seriously, these are the things that, I mean, Killian's been in the Navy since he was a teenager. I'm sure he's killed men in combat even before he was Captain Hook and evil. So I don't think him killing somebody is that big. And I
right.
did. So I just didn't. It didn't phase me. I was like, oh, thank God, badass Killian is back. That's all I cared about.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be real. That scene could have gone down 100 different ways. By the time that he made that decision to kick Jekyll in the gut to get him away from Belle, he was acting on instinct. He didn't intend for the guy to go falling backwards and getting himself impaled on a harpoon. It just happened that that's how it turned out. You know, honestly, what I was more endeared by in that whole Captain Book scenes was the comments that she made about how he wouldn't have to fight for too much space with her because all he had was the one chest. I had a little tear coming down because, oh, poor Killian. You know, he has that whole stateroom to himself, and he only takes the one chest of things that really have any meaning to him. I'm like, at first I
Yeah,
was
but
kind of looking, going,
here's the thing with that though. I'm sure most of the possessions in that stateroom are Liam's,
probably. I
which
just
is why he
figured he
wouldn't
would have
take them.
I just figured since he had bought a new set of clothes, new wardrobe of clothes, it would take more than one chest to fill the
It's a
bags up.
magic chest. It's bigger on the inside.
It's like
I guess
Hermione's
so.
bag.
Exactly. It's like a mini
Probably,
TARDIS.
Yeah,
I
doesn't
just
he
figured,
have like a bunch of flowery shirts now?
Yeah,
but I guess
but that's
it's
like,
another
but this,
thing that kind of ties him and Emma.
but
Goes
no.
back to
Okay, wait
season.
a second. This is the thing that threw me off. Like in that episode in season 1, when Emma moves in with Snow and she has that one box and she says that's all her stuff. I'm like, girlfriend, you have clothing. Where's all your clothing? Does this not count as possessions? Like what? Like it seems to be they're separating clothing from possessions so that they can have the parallel of things fitting only in one box.
I
Mm,
think she meant when she was. I
I
think
think
what she
you're
meant
right.
when she said the boxes, that was all her, um, all of the things that were important to her that she couldn't part with.
But that's what
The
I'm
things that
saying.
meant
Like when
something to
we
her
think of
emotionally.
possessions, we're thinking, like our TVs and our books and our clothes. Like we think of clothes as part of our possessions. It's not, because there's no way all of Killian's clothes, even though he's got, a dozen flowered shirts and one pair of pants and his jacket, all fit in that chest unless it's a mini TARDIS.
True, true. Because I'm
It's
sure he'd be
just
taking. I'm sure he'd be taking his books and his whatever he uses to clean his sword with, and that the leather jacket alone would have taken up enough space to fill up the whole trunk. Because it's so
no,
damn thick and
especially
stuff.
his pirate's leather coat. I mean, that thing weighs 50 pounds.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the big leather
Well,
jacket would take.
he could just leave it in the Jolly Roger because he didn't need that. It was not like he was abandoning the Jolly Roger, you know?
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying this comes back to their like weird thing where apparently they don't consider close possessions. They just want everything to fit in the one box to look both Emma to make Emma and Killian's past like look sad, which they
Hmm.
are. I mean, their pasts are really really sad. We got that memo. It's
Except
just
when Regina has the saddest past. You know what I mean?
yes. Oh God.
But I didn't get a chance to say though that I was very thrilled with Belle finally growing up, growing a spine. The whole scene where she told him to get lost and all that stuff. I was like, yes, yes, drag his ass, Belle French, drag that carcass ass. Thank you. Just one thing though, stick with it.
Yeah,
Don't
that's the
drag his
question.
fucking ass and then
Hmm.
go
That
back on
is
it
the
later.
question. Okay, so
Because
do you
Well,
have a question about that?
I have Daniela's rant about Rumpel, where she basically says Rumpel's the worst. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's kind of rambly. Basically,
this
Rumpel's
is
the worst. But
this is
here's the
Belle's.
thing with that scene with Rumpel at the end with Belle is like if you were listening to what Rumpel was saying, Rumpel is essentially saying that he doesn't give a shit if Belle loves him. He just wants her. Like she is
Yeah.
his possession. Like he doesn't care if she loves him. He just wants her to be with him because of the baby. Like that's literally it at this point. He doesn't love Belle anymore, if he ever did.
Man, he is
He's assuming that
And,
she's
and
gonna wake up one day and think she has no other choice, that she can't protect herself or
that's
her,
why he
because
wants her to come back. That's so sad.
he apparently views her as a weakling who has like no life skills and believes that she will now be beholden to him because of the child that she's carrying. Like you fucking asshole. She's not a possession. She has skills. She has more skills than you fucktard. The only reason that you got anything is because you took on dark magic. Without that, you ain't shit. My only thing is, please just make her stick with it. That's her problem. Every time he does one smidgen of a decent thing, she's like, "Oh, Rumpel, I love you so much."
but no, I think that's what they're. I think that they've abandoned that angle. That they're going to do exactly what Rumpel said. That she's going to be pushed towards him by necessity. And I think this is the straw. I mean, if you were, I mean, no offense to people who genuinely ship Rumbell, but I'm like, you do recognize that the ship is toxic as fuck.
I
Exactly.
don't actually think that she will be pushed to Rumpel because of the baby. I think they're trying to put an angle where Rumpel finally decides that, oh, I have to give up power. They're kind of trying to redeem Rumpel, but who can believe him at this point? I wouldn't believe
No,
him.
no, that ship done sailed.
Like you can forgive somebody if they really repent, but how would you trust someone and go back and live with them as a husband and wife? I don't know.
I don't know. Apparently, Rumpel doesn't care.
I'm just really surprised that the writers just messed that ship so much. I mean, if they ever want them to get back together, they just took him over the what do you call it? He has crossed the line so many times. It's impossible.
Yeah, I won't buy it if they try it again. Serena, what do you think about Rumpel? Is Rumpel the worst?
Yes, but I actually I'm impressed that the writers are sticking with Rumble being apart. I hope they don't have her change her mind. I especially hope they don't have their son change his mind. Because I don't know. I don't even know what. It's been so repetitive for 5 seasons. I 6 seasons now. I almost forget that I used to really enjoy Rumble in season 1, but yeah, there is no way Rumble can actually be redeemed at this point,
Right.
unless it's that as a redemption, like he dies trying to like saving Belle or Storybrooke or the sun or whatever, and he stays dead, and that's it, the end. Because if even if he does a big gesture and he sacrifices himself to save someone and he lives, there is no way I or Belle or anyone should believe he won't be attempted again. They've just done the I'm redeemed, just kidding dance too many times for any Rampo redemption to be believable. So I think that's just one ship that can be saved. Like she can forgive him on his deathbed, and she can tell him, "Okay, I will tell her son when he grows up that his father loved him." But
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. He can like die happy knowing that he was there for his son, at least this one, the
Mm-hmm.
over at the end, that he should like choose his son over magic, which he didn't forbade, and then die. Stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be different because
Yeah,
that wouldn't be believable.
they've got to Darth Vader
Right.
him.
Yeah.
They've got to pull a Vader. That's the only way it's going to work. Luke was the son who saved the father, and they can totally do that with Hot Morpheus.
Oh yeah.
I want to know his character's real name. Please don't be Balefire Jr. 'cause that
Balefire
would be
2.0.
creepy. That would be creepy.
Well, considering the show's propensity to name children after dead people,
Oh, good
and not
God.
particularly decent dead people either. uh, never know.
Yeah, we have Neil 2.0. Balefire is still there, ready to play.
Yeah, but
I almost
remember,
wouldn't be.
Rumple doesn't think of Neil as his son, just Bagel.
I almost wouldn't be
Yes.
surprised if he wound up naming the new baby something like, I don't know, Malcolm. His name
Oh
is that
God,
baby Malcolm. I'm
no, that
gonna
would be
scream. I'm like,
because
you gonna
Pan
name
is
that?
literally the worst dad ever.
You gonna name that child after the worst dad ever?
Well,
Ugh.
it's hard to tell who's worse, Malcolm or Brennan.
Mm.
Wow. I
I think
think it's
it's Brennan.
Brendan. I'm
Yeah,
with you, Michelle.
because Rumple got left with the kindly spinner ladies who kept a roof over his head and taught him a trade and stuff. Killian and Liam were freaking slaves over a dinghy. F that guy.
Yep. He sold his kids as slaves. He's the worst parent.
He's even worse than Cora. And how are you worse than Cora?
Mm.
Anyway, moving on. These next ones are about Jasmine. This one's from Daniela. What did you think of the friendship between Jasmine and Snow?
Snow is the worst teacher ever.
Oh my god.
She is so bad. Like I'm offended as the daughter of two teachers.
Solve for X. What exactly were they solving for? Please tell me that.
It
What the
was
hell does Newton's third law have to do with solving for X?
It was horrible. It was so embarrassing.
it was her first day back after being not in school for like months or a year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And before the curse was broken, all she did was build bird houses. So it's not like she was doing that much teaching. And she doesn't like say, okay, maybe you're new, let's just let me explain things again. No, she gives a test and then is all disappointed that they fail it. Okay, here's a tip for all teachers. If every single person in your class fails a test, maybe you are the problem, you know.
Amen.
Anyway,
And what
uh,
did having the kids play with bow and arrows actually have to solve for X?
yeah.
I don't know, and I couldn't even figure out what it had to do with Newton's third law.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm like,
either. So which was
like
the
what?
action? Which was the
Well,
reaction?
Okay, speaking of Newton's third law, do we have any Hamilton fans besides me?
Yes.
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 Okay, so this is from Mai, and she says, "Since I can't be there, I dare someone to sing Newton's third law in the way they do in Hamilton if we talk about snow." So who
Okay, I
wants to
can
sing?
sing. No,
I
I
don't
can
want to
sing.
ruin
I
that.
don't sing.
No, we are not debate date,
My
so we're just gonna
your
not do it.
answer is no. Maybe next podcast, next episode, uh, if Mai is here, she can sing it. Or
Oh,
Ro
for those
is
of
the
you,
singer.
yeah, for those of you who don't know, the song is "Washington on Your Side."
It must
So
be
I
go
the
look it
can't
up.
sing.
It's a great song.
I can sing. I just don't know the song because I've never watched the
Yeah,
movie.
I don't think I can sing without the lyrics in front of me and all that.
Yeah, I mean, if the lyrics were in front of me, I'd give it a try, but I would just embarrass myself because it's rap, and I'm a old white lady who should not be rapping.
Uh,
I know my limitations.
Did you guys watch the Hamilton special?
Yes,
That's good.
it was amazing. Anyway,
Moving on.
okay, yeah, so where we go before we fall down another rabbit hole. That's nothing to do with anything. This next one is about the Oracle Girl, and it is from Daniela. Does anyone else notice the scar on her cheek is what? Is it this? I can't understand what she's trying to say. Is it the same one that she had in the? I think it's the same one.
Yep.
So Daniela thinks that it's proof she's Jafar, and I don't think it is.
I don't
I
think
don't think
she's Jafar.
I don't think she's Jafar either.
I have no idea.
I think she's not a good actress. I'm sorry. She kind of wouldn't.
She's not amazing.
Yeah.
Again, Jafar holds a staff with a snake head. Her staff has
Yeah,
the
but
head
he
of a
could
bird.
transfigure the staff to make it look however he wants. I mean, it is
She's not-
theoretically possible that she's in like cahoots with Jafar or something, but I don't think so.
She's not Jafar. I'm not even sure if she's fully human. I think that because she talks like she's been doing this job with the saviors for a very long time. I think it's her lot in life, no matter what the incarnation might be, to be by the savior side, to be with them in their, for whatever their journey is. She was that for Aladdin. That's why she's trying to find him, and that's why she's also trying to be the same for Emma. I don't think there's anything nefarious about her.
Well, I think she's
I
only
can
in one more episode, so it doesn't matter.
Wow, everyone's just running through their episodes, huh?
I think they're taking too long to get to it because I understand now they're trying to take their time because they have more time to use instead of having to block it into 11 episodes. But now they're just taking too long. And a lot of the episodes are now starting to feel like filler.
Well, I think that they needed to get Jekyll and Hyde cleared, as we talked about earlier, that they realized the story wasn't going to go the way they hoped it would go. They had to focus on them in the first 4 to get them cleared out, and then they could focus on Aladdin and Jasmine and the whole savior stuff.
Yeah.
And that'll go on longer. Okay, so we don't think Oracle Girl is Jafar. Sorry, fandom. Okay,
Didn't Adam and Eddie say that what happened to Jafar, being turned into it or getting trapped into the genie's lamp was canon, and that as far as anybody knows, he's still in the lamp.
Yep.
So yeah, it really can't be him.
Well, that's the thing. When we talk spoilers, we'll talk about episode 10. So Daddy Charming, and this is also from she says, well, it's also Aladdin, Jasmine, but anyway, we need more Daddy Charming, and do you think we'll get Aladdin, Jasmine, and CS parallels, and is Miss Oracle still shady as fuck, and Mai thinks she is? I think she's shady, but I don't think she's Jafar.
Yeah, she's probably shady. Parallels, I don't know. I feel like parallels were fun in the first few seasons, and now they're just an excuse for Adam and Hedy to be lazy and not
Mhm.
Hmm.
think of new scenes, just repeat them twice, the same one twice. So
I
I
wish
would,
we had a round of applause sound effect.
Mhm.
we do. I have to find it, but I'm gonna applaud myself. You can answer while I find the applause sound.
What was the question? Oh, Aladdin and Jasmine parallels. I mean, I think Emma and Aladdin are going to be heavily paralleled. So
Okay, you can continue. Sorry.
because the next episode is called Street Rats, and that's what Aladdin was, and that's essentially what Emma was before she went to the prison. Thanks, Bagel. So whether Jasmine and Killian are going to be paralleled, I don't know.
Okay, someone else want to answer or
I have something.
yeah,
It's so sad that Hyde Queen never happened.
that's true.
Yes.
It's
I
so
feel
sad.
I feel like he had the personality to put up with her. Like Regina should. They keep putting Regina with this weak-willed man, like Daniel and Robin,
Mm-hmm.
and even Graham while he was cursed. Every man they ever interact with is weak.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't have a dominant personality. Well, she needs one because otherwise, if she interacts with someone who doesn't have a personality that matches her, he'll just like he will fade in the background. So yeah, that's what they need. Someone like Hyde.
Seemed to me like Eva Queen is far more interested in Rumpelstiltskin for
Ugh.
some
Oh my
Okay,
strange
god!
reason.
we don't talk about that. That doesn't happen.
What
That
is that?
I don't
Oh,
God
I
only
don't,
know.
I
knows.
don't get it. I don't get it.
Because all
I-
those scenes are just eerie and disgusting and uncomfortable and just plain not
Creepy.
creepy
but
and plain not right.
I just don't understand them. Like
Well, no,
why?
and this episode was even worse because they had poor Lana say the exact same sentence to Rumpel, but one is the
I
evil queen and
know.
one is Regina, and she had to make them sound different, and they both sounded creepy as fuck about the haircut.
They have to be going somewhere with this. I don't think Rumpel will ever be interested, but it has to be a plot point
What
somewhere.
He
plot
was
point?
she was actually trying to get him to cheat on Belle. Like
Ugh.
of all, I mean, I have seen him
I
do
mean,
some
it
nasty
shouldn't
things,
be
but I
cheating because they're broken up. So
yes, but I mean,
it
I
could
They're
happen.
on a break. They're
I
on
They
a
were
do
break.
on a
know
break.
I do know that despite all of Rumpel's shortcomings and all his bullshit, that one thing has always been certain that he does love Belle. So I
Right.
mean, that's the one thing that he would not do. And I mean, I'm just sitting here watching her like come on to him and lay it on thick as trying to get
But
him to
I
dump
don't
Belle,
think
saying that she's. I'm like, what are you doing? What are
I
you
don't think
doing?
the reason that he wouldn't cheat on Belle is because he loves her. It just doesn't seem interested in women. Like he's interested in Belle, but I don't feel like he has this. I don't feel like he has this sexual need to get with women.
Hmm.
So I
Oh.
don't.
And for which we are thankful.
These
Why are we
days,
talking about this creepy ass plot?
these
Ugh.
days,
Well, the fact that Belle's pregnant at all is kind of creepy to me, but whatever.
sometimes I think that I'm not even entirely sure if he really does truly. I believe that he loves her, but like true love, no,
No.
Oh
no,
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 no.
it
You
ain't
no,
see him,
never been
no,
true
definitely
no.
not.
love.
it seems to me like he didn't really fall in love with Belle because he loved her. He fell in love with the idea that someone might actually be able to have feelings for him or
Mm.
might love him, because prior to that he didn't. That's why he pushed her away, because he didn't believe anyone was that he was capable of being loved, that no one could
Well, he
ever
had
love
that.
the
Well,
Dark
that's not
One.
entirely true. He had that brief moment with Cora.
That
Well,
probably made it worse because
Yeah,
she chose not to be with him.
exactly.
that
Like
was because
that burned
their
him.
their personalities were very much alike, and it was almost like mutually assured destruction or something. But
No, but I think Rumpel legitimately had feelings for Cora, and then she stomped all over them because she's a heartless bitch
so he probably
who
went through
wanted
life after that
her,
thinking that no
who
one could
looked out
possibly
for
love.
herself.
Yeah, no one could possibly love the Dark One. So when you have this innocent woman who has every reason to hate him, winds up falling in love with him. I think he was more in love with that idea than actually truly in love with her.
Like he doesn't even let the true love's kiss complete any time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just surprised that it's actually even possible to start the true love between them. I don't know. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
Nope.
I was
All
actually
right, enough
talking
about.
to a friend of mine, and she said, well, if they really wanted to go there, they could retcon and say that Regina always had feelings for Rumple, you know.
Ugh,
But where are they going with it? That's my question.
I don't know. Other than waiting to creep us all out, I don't know. All right, we have one last Daddy Charming question. It's from Daniela. Did any of you find Emma's breakfast scene with her parents and brother super adorable and funny, with David in protective daddy mode about Emma and Hook that are now going to be living together? Eh,
Okay, I don't enjoy protective daddy charming in this situation. Like when Emma
I
is
don't
about to
either.
die, fine. But
Mm-hmm.
it stopped being funny like 3 seasons ago. Like,
Mhm.
Amen.
okay, the first season he got her back and he had just seen her as a baby and now she's a woman. Okay, fine. But it's been a lot, like 4 seasons since then. You should get over it because it's not cute.
I mean,
She's
both Snow and Charming treat Emma like she's 5 years old.
when Snow remembers that she has a daughter. Sure.
Exactly. It's the worst developed relationship on the show, which is so sad.
I mean, when it was Snow like taking a picture of Emma going on a date, like it was for prom, that was fine. That was a
Mhm.
fun scene, but not treating her like she's. I mean, I don't know. I don't particularly enjoy it.
Well,
And
okay.
they like season 5 never happened. Okay, guys, you went to the underworld to save Hook. Have you forgotten that?
Mm-hmm.
And Emma hasn't been living in the loft for whatever long it was when they got back from Camelot.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what did David think was going to happen? Like, Killian was
That's
just going to keep living on the Jolly Roger forever and ever?
that's not true. And we all know this. Come on.
What is
Okay.
not true?
He's not bitter about the fact that Killian's moving in. He has great respect for him. Like I was saying earlier, he's a dad. He didn't get the chance to be there to do all the things that a normal dad would do. So I guess he's kind of making up for it by taking the pictures before she goes on her date and acting like a little bit overprotective, blah, blah, blah. That's what dads do.
But my dad didn't
Well,
do
my
that.
dad didn't do that.
My dad didn't do that. And let's be real, Emma is like 30 years old. I don't care how old David is. Emma is 30 years old, a grown woman, and can make her own decisions. She wants her boyfriend
I
to live in her
know.
house, she can.
I know, and there are definitely times when it becomes tiring because it's like, David, get out of the 60s. She's a grown ass woman. She can take care of herself. I don't think that he doesn't believe she can. I think he's just an old fashioned guy. And like I was saying, No, he could be the most perfect person in the world. David's still going to grumble because she's his little girl. Yes, she's grown, but she's his little girl, and no one will ever be good enough. That's just
I
how it
mean,
works when you're a parent.
Killian
I no.
died for her. What the hell else does he have to do to get Charming to stop acting like a 2-year-old?
I don't
And I
think
love
it's
Charming.
just. I don't think it's just what it's like when you are a parent, because I bet he's not going to complain about the woman baby Graham dates like he does, like he Killian. It's sexist, and
Yes.
we shouldn't. Okay, it happens, but it's not just the way it is. It's the way it shouldn't be. Like, fine, when you meet someone new, you that you don't know, that's
I
understandable
will.
that you don't trust them. But
I will
now
admit though.
you know what that he loves her, you know that he'll do right by her. So just stop.
Plus,
I
Emma
will. I will
says,
say.
plus
I.
Emma Plus, Emma says he usually only brings her stale coffee when they're going into work. So it's not like they were having pancakes for breakfast every day at Emma's house. And suddenly Charming
Yes.
is worried that once Killian moves in, this tradition is going to stop. If that was the case, then I understand. And, Emma reassures him that you can still come over and make breakfast. But apparently, suddenly he decided to come over and cook pancakes just because
Mm-hmm.
Killian was moving in. Come on.
I will say this. That scene when they're walking through the woods and he was saying, I never thought that I would like that pirate, but if you're happy, then I'm happy. Okay. That line, I was like, are we really going to retread this shit again? Because I felt like we were going, yeah, we were going back to season 4 as if season 5 never
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
happened. But that was probably the wrong choice of words, the wrong line. I get that. But imagine, if you will, that you had children
Oh God.
and you had a daughter. I'm not saying that you have to be that you're that it's gonna that it's sexist that she goes out and gets a boyfriend that you can't be protective of. But if you did, and she brought home, let's say she was in high school and she brought home a boyfriend, are you gonna tell me that I mean, I'm not saying you're going to grill him. Generally, the way it tends to go is the mother tries to keep the father from grilling the boyfriend.
Okay. Wait.
But
First of all, I am a daughter, and I did bring a guy home in high school, and my dad did not act like this. Okay.
mine didn't.
So
mine
let's
didn't
just
either.
say coming at it from a parent's perspective. Let's also come at this from the children's perspective, from the child's perspective, who is dealing with sexist, stupid shit from their dad when they're 30. Okay,
We
this
can
is
all
dumb.
agree. We can all agree. Charming's old-fashioned. It happens. I'm so sorry. Charming is
No,
old-fashioned.
I agree he's old fashioned. That's not my problem. I think everybody's allowed to have flaws. My problem, which may not be the same as other people are having, my problem is it's not natural progression
Yes.
because it seems like the writers have forgotten season 5 happened. We got
Mm-hmm.
a beautiful scene between Hook and Charming in the underworld where David says, well, I didn't just come for Emma, I came for you as well. And then he gave him a hug when he came back to life, you know.
Thank
So
you.
if this scene had happened in season 4, I understand. Is someone, what analogy, Lisa, you're saying is someone new is dating his daughter, then his overprotective mode comes in. Even if I don't like it, I would understand that, well, it's charming, he's old fashioned, he's going to act that way. But at this point in the story, it's completely overplayed and unnatural. And I think it's because they're going to somehow connect Huck with David's dad's death, So they're trying to build up the drama, but it feels forced and awkward to me. So
And
that's what I have the problem
that's
Thank
with.
you.
probably true. And there's also the fact that they tend to forget things that they've written, for the characters in the past. Their consistency with that is
Well, and not
lacking.
only that, if we are correct about about the speculation about the David's dad, Killian, quasi connection thing. They're planning Emma to be put in the middle between her dad and her boyfriend.
Mm.
Because because David's gonna be like, whatever, freaking out, and Emma's, you know, they have the potential to put Emma in the middle between her dad and her boyfriend, and that could be a thing. But it's still,
Right.
as you said, Rams, it's stilted and awkward because it's like season 5 never existed.
Mm-hmm. That's my main issue with it. Why can't Hook and David bond over something else other than the fact that he and Emma are together?
Why can't they bond about their respective brothers? That was an excellent
Yes.
line to take in
Yes.
305.
Oh,
Where
I'm
did
so
that go?
disappointed,
Especially
man.
now that David has met Liam.
Mm-hmm.
And,
That was
and
so
Killian
stupid.
saw James.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing that happened in the underworld. Yet we're retreading the same old crap about Hook dating Emma. It's
Oh,
like,
the pirate is dating my daughter, blah, blah, blah.
it's like, David, honey, you were a shepherd.
I don't
Okay.
think that he really. I don't think he really means it. I think he just.
Well, then the writers need to stop having him say it, because he says it and it sounds like he means it, and I'm like, David, honey, stop. And I love David. I love Charming.
Yes,
You all
I
know
love
how
David
much I
too.
love Charming.
I love David.
And this is
But
so
I mean,
frustrating.
haven't you ever seen like a dad when their daughter's getting married
On
usually
TV?
Usually the mom is the calm one and the dad is.
This
the
only
one
happens
that's
on
freaking out
television.
because- Actually, no.
Okay, let's move on, guys. We've said the same thing over and over. Let's.
Thank you.
I mean, I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and I can tell you that my husband is very protective of her. He's probably told her 1,000 times that she won't date till she's 30. And I'm the one that keeps telling him that he has to back off, because if he keeps doing that, she's going to go out and find the worst guy in the world just to piss him off. Trust me, I've seen it.
Yes,
I've
but
lived
she
it.
is 10. Emma's 30.
Okay. A couple of general questions. First one was from it's from Anonymous. Do you think all the mains got enough screen time in this episode minus Selena? Was Selena even in this episode?
No,
I actually forgot about her.
she wasn't. I think that was the point of minus Celine. I think it was fine. I mean, Emma didn't have a lot of screen time, but she did in the previous episode, so it was fine. And Belle seems more integrated in the story
Yeah.
than previous seasons, and that's nice too. Like she actually seems part of the plot and not just her doing a random adventure on her own with a guest character. So that was better than what she usually gets.
Mhm.
So yeah, I thought it was fine, pretty good. Anyone else?
Yeah, I mean, am I sad that Emma and Killian did not actually have any scenes together? Yes, but it is what it is. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was fine too. Because they
I
still
don't have
talk
any-
about each other. So I
I
thought
don't
it
have
was
any
fine.
problem. Yeah, I don't have any problem with it because they still got good development outside of it. It's like I said, it's important for them to not only have development within the relationship, but also to have development outside. But I will codify that by saying that I swear to Jesus, if they don't show in this upcoming episode some semblance of him moving in there, I'm going to blow a gasket, because
I keep telling you people, it ain't gonna happen. There is not going to be a move-in scene. Her asking him and him having a conversation with Belle about the chest is all we're gonna get. And the next time we see him, they're gonna all be living in the house. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
So just brace yourself. That's like I'm bracing myself for not having any Captain Swan sexy times until the finale. They totally set that up in the premiere to pay it off in the finale. Mark my words.
Yeah.
I'm real cynical about this stuff, y'all.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Okay, my next question is from Stacy, and it's more of a comment than a question. Hey, you guys, do you remember that bingo card thing I made for you? I don't really. Does anybody remember the bingo card?
No.
You
Not
might have to
It
make
really.
it
was
again.
it was maybe a few months ago or maybe years. I I vaguely remember a bingo card, but I can't keep information in my head that isn't my dissertation right now. So I'm sorry. That's my
Yes,
excuse. That's my
we're
excuse.
Stacy, make it again and send it to us. So maybe we'll play, next episode or something. I think you guys should start using it because, in the words of Han Solo, I have a bad feeling about this, and by this I mean the rest of season 6.
I I mean, I actually have no idea where this is going. I feel like whatever will happen with Robin will annoy me. So yeah, but actually the Emma storyline is interesting, and it could. I feel like the next episode will tell me if I'm going to enjoy the Emma storyline or if it will annoy me too. Because there's supposed to be some development on that front. So yeah,
I think I'm
I
full on in raging cynic mode. And am I the only one who's noticed that there's a lot less like speculation and meta going around this year than there have been in
I
years
think there's
past?
That's
also
because for the
less.
first that's because the first time in like ever, Adam and Eddie are actually trying very, very hard, and they've actually succeeded in not letting spoilers out. So there's really not much to speculate on. They were
I
really,
don't
really good
know.
about keeping it closed off.
I don't know if they are trying or if it just happened because they are not filming in storybook as much, and the things they're filming are not huge spoilery stuff.
Well, the one they're doing next week will definitely be
Yeah.
with the crane and the fans and everything. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be the culmination of the fight scene with Emma and the hooded figure.
I mean,
Well,
how you. Yeah.
yeah, we are supposed to find out who it is in episode 10, so that would make sense.
Are they filming episode 10 next week?
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Oh,
still filming 10.
okay. So, yeah, I feel like people will find out and then they will try to keep it hidden for a few hours and then it will get out anyway. But it's gonna be Emma herself.
Well, actually, speaking of that, we have a theory about Emma and the hooded figure.
Mhm.
So I can read it. This is from
Yeah.
OUAT 4511. I was listening to your podcast, and I have a theory about the whole Emma getting killed. I think she will get killed or sacrifice herself, but like Aslan from Narnia, um, from Narnia / Jesus, death itself will start working backwards, and she will come back more powerful, and it will play into the whole savior mythology. What do you think?
I don't know if they want to go the Jesus
The
route.
Jesus route.
Uh, I I still feel like eh, it's Emma killing herself, but she doesn't die because it's she kills the evil part. It's the evil part that can die. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the hooded figure is good Emma. The not hooded figure is evil Emma, and she dies, but she comes back because she can't. That whole thing that we said a few episodes ago.
How
So
will Emma get split? Will like somebody, Dr. Veil, make this recreate the serum or something?
Well, this goes into what everybody's speculating about Robin coming back and what episode 10 is about.
I just
So,
don't believe that it's some outside enemy because if what Jafar was saying, every savior has an enemy that eventually does them in, the one big one that they can't seem to kill. if they were going to go that route, they would have had to establish this enemy well beforehand to set up the idea that this enemy is like this big person that she can't kill because and they haven't done that. Even Regina can't take that spot because she's defeated Regina in the past. So far, she's defeated everything that she's come up against. So if they were going to do that, they would have had to establish this person well beforehand. And the only enemy that I have seen that Emma has been unable to defeat is herself.
But she's not really being an enemy to herself right now that much, though. I mean, if this had happened in 3B, then yeah, Emma was really like. I
It happened
mean,
in 3B. It happened in 5A. I mean,
okay, yeah,
it's a
5A definitely. 5A for sure. But
it's
right
a recurring
now, I
thing.
think she's not that
But
bad.
okay, but here's the thing. I think the thing that they're filming in 10, the finishing of the vision, but it's not like actually gonna happen like for real, quote unquote, until like later in season 6, like towards the end. Like she's gonna see the rest of her fate and then try to fix it or something. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Trying to remember what I was gonna say. I don't remember what I was gonna say. Anybody else?
Mm.
I
It's
don't know.
hard to get a hold of the storylines, honestly.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. Do we want to talk about spoilers now
Yes.
and speculation and whatnot? Because we've
Yeah,
only got one question left, and it's spoilers.
yeah. There was something you were supposed. The Robin theory. You were supposed to tell me what was the
Yes, the Robin
popular.
theory.
Yes.
Okay, so I think it's episode 608. There's a behind the scenes shot of Aladdin holding the lamp,
Mm-hmm.
which, of course, if we're correct about Jafar, means that Jafar is in the lamp, right?
Yep.
And that
Yes.
either Regina or the evil queen gets hold of the lamp, brings Jafar out of it, and like makes a wish.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, because episode 10, what's episode 10's called?
I
Wish
wish you were here.
Yes. And that she wishes Robin back to life or some such. And that causes like big Mondo problems. And that's how the Robin situation gets resolved. And that Jafar could definitely play into an Emma getting split situation.
Mm.
Oh,
And
that someone could
magic.
wish that Emma is split into two.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that.
And when they defeat Jafar, Robin goes too.
Because remember,
Maybe.
genies are all powerful. Phenomenal cosmic
Mhm.
powers.
So, what do you think that the the genie will actually change the outcome? You know, the page 23 thing from season 4. Like maybe the whole timeline will be altered or something. Like there was some
It
speculation
could
like
be.
that.
It could be anything, but I do think Wish You Were Here has to do with Robin for sure. And then if Emma's vision continues to play out, could have to do with that as well. Because that's totally something that Jafar would do.
It's hard to know if the evil queen part is still interested in Robin. They haven't really.
They said Adam and Eddie said that she is, that all the feelings Regina has as Regina, she has as the evil queen. Like she still loves Henry, she still loves Robin.
Why is she doing this shit with Rumple? Why?
I don't know.
Sexy evil seductress trope.
Yes. They need an excuse to show Lana's boobs.
I guess.
Oh yeah, you know what? The name I thought up for the evil queen Rumple ship?
Oh God.
Cleavage Croc.
Ah.
Mm.
Oh
No.
no. I'm scarred for life. I really hope that's not all people remember from season 6. I'll be so sad. This is why we need Captain Swan Sexy Time. To
Yes.
wash out the image of because it's a creepy.
We need some romance in the middle of all the angst. Please.
Seriously.
Okay, what do we have another question?
This is the last one,
Okay.
and it's from Daniela. Um, do you guys think Hook and the Charmings and Henry and Regina will forgive Emma for hiding the secret of her cursed savior vision from them in by the sixth episode?
Why does Regina have to forgive her? Like, what did she do against Regina?
I
Regina
don't
needs
know.
to bat out.
Exactly.
Yes, Regina has nothing to do with this. Sorry, Daniela.
I mean, sure. I mean, okay, she's hiding something about when she will die. That's emotional. You need time to come to terms with something like that. I feel like if uh, if someone was hiding for a while, how long was it? Like a week, 2 weeks? If someone got a diagnosis from a doctor that they have cancer or something else that's terminal, and they wanted a while to come to terms with it before telling their loved ones, you wouldn't be like, oh, I wonder if they'll forgive her. Like, no, leave her alone. She's trying to come to terms with like her death. So yeah, they forgive her, and I hope quickly because
I think it's natural if they're angry that she didn't tell them. I mean, both are natural, you know. Both, if you got some kind of terminal illness diagnosis and you hide it from them, both reactions are normal. But here
Hmm.
again, I feel like the writing wasn't natural. Like, why did she believe the oracle right away? Why didn't she get a confirmation somehow, somewhere? So it was a bit silly. And I think that they will be angry with her, but it's not going to be drawn out into multiple episodes. But
Well,
I think Killian might snipe at her for a couple of episodes. I think so.
I don't think Killian's going to be upset with her for multiple episodes because they're setting up this Captain Charming thing. There's a reason. Here's my problem with it: is that Emma is ultimately being forced to reveal this secret rather than revealing it on her own. I would much
Mhm.
rather because she's choosing to complain and not because the evil queen is queen. I knew it was
Mhm.
going to go this way because writers love the soap opera drama. So it was obvious this was the route they were going to take. But for Emma's own character development, I would rather they go the other way where she comes clean of her own volition because she's ready. But they're not. So because it's coming out like this, where she's forced to tell the truth and not telling the truth because she wants to, Killian has every right to be upset. Her parents have a right to be upset. Henry has a right to be upset. Okay? These kinds of secrets always are worse when you're either forced into it or you hear it from somebody else. That's just the facts. You tell somebody your secret yourself, that's always better. Now we have those spoiler photos from Emma's like in that cave or whatever it is, and she's like down on the ground and her hands shaking, and then there's Henry who's comforting her and stuff. I'm pretty sure that's when her secret comes out, and that's when she's forced to tell them. And so, I think Killian's going to initially be upset, but he is going to forgive her relatively quickly because they need to wrap that up to get to the Captain Charming stuff.
Mm.
And that's going to start in the next episode with Nemo.
I agree. I mean, it's perfectly natural for them to be upset that she's kept this. And even more so the fact that they have to find out this way instead of her being able to tell them on her own terms. Um, I, there's nothing wrong with them being angry. They were angry at her before in 5A when she didn't come to them for help, but once she realized that she was wrong about it, they turned that corner and they forgave her pretty quickly. I don't see that not happen. I'm sure that will happen here too. And Killian loves her too much to ever be mad at her for very long. He'll be upset that she didn't tell him, that she didn't trust him enough, or not trust him, but she didn't feel like she could tell this
No,
man. I think
it's what Snow said to David in Neverland. She said to David, "You didn't believe in us." Said to David, and I can see Killian, when he first finds out, having that exact same reaction. You didn't believe in us enough for you to tell me this is happening.
Mm.
And I'm just saying initially, he's how Emma did in the Ursula episode where they had that little tiff in her office. They left. They broke apart for a couple of hours. Emma cooled off. She called him back. They talked it out. I can see that same thing happening here, where they have the seeker comes out. He gets a little miffed. He needs to go like have a rum, go to the water to chill out or whatever.
Go talk to
And then they
Belle.
go talk to Belle, and then they come back together and they work it out.
I'm pretty certain that by the end of the episode, he'll have come to terms with it, and they'll be able to sit down and have an actual conversation about it. She has to.
That's all I want.
She has to realize that she doesn't have to go through it alone. She didn't necessarily have to tell him all of the details, but like what happened with Ursula, it was wrong of her to act like there was nothing going on in the first place. She could at least have been honest and forthright about that much. So I'm sure, hopefully, this won't be another one of those having off-camera scenes, because this is important. This is important.
Yeah, because this is the second time this has happened. Emma's she kept the whole Dark One thing a secret too, and that blew up in her face. And she's keeping this a secret again, and it's going to blow up in her face. And it's a pattern of behavior, and why she has it. But I feel like it's something she needs to work through in order to be a well-rounded, whole, happy person. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I guess you could say old habits die hard. She's used to having to deal with everything by herself, because that's the way
She shouldn't by now. She learned that lesson in 5A.
But as we all know, they like to reset everybody.
They like to reset. I know. It's so annoying, man.
Old habits die hard. It's
But then you have
Killian went through the same thing with Ursula in season 4. We thought that he wasn't going to react the way that he did, and he put a gun in her face when he thought that she wasn't going to give him the information. So yeah, these characters do tend to fall back on old ways when push comes to shove.
Well, to be fair, she has magic and could have kicked his ass at any point, and then she tried to kill him. So I don't think it was all that out of line, but whatever. But that's not even what we're talking about. Their interpersonal relationship, where Emma's never had someone who's going to be with her and be her partner like unconditionally. Like Killian loves her unconditionally. He doesn't care. And Killian said it himself. Anything is possible to be forgiven if somebody loves you. He loves her, so he's going to forgive her for this. But Killian learned a lesson with Ursula. He learned not to lie about his past. He learned not to say, no, I don't know this person, when he clearly does know this person. So that part of it he's learned. And Colin said it himself. Killian feels like they have a relationship where they can be honest. And now Emma is not being honest. And I understand why she's not being honest. And I understand that she's needed time to process. But she's been going to Archie for for a few episodes now, and has had time to sort of begin to come to terms with this, and now she's being forced. Now my question is, how long would she have continued to wait to tell them if she was not being forced? And the longer she waits, the worse it is when it finally comes out.
I would like to think it wouldn't be too much longer, but knowing Emma, you can't ever really say.
I think that's a legitimate question that Killian should ask. Were you ever going to tell me this? And she needs to have an answer. Was she ever really going to tell them, or was she just going to die and not tell them that this was coming? She's not being fair to her family. She's not being fair to Killian, and above all, she's not being fair to herself. She needs more support than just Archie.
Mm.
You know what I mean? She's blocking at she's holding these people who love her at arm's length, and that's not healthy either. I just want Emma to be the healthiest person she can be, and she needs to work on it. That's all I'm saying.
I I mean, I agree, but I actually think it's different. I mean, hiding that you have done a bad thing and hiding that you're going to die are kind of different because the reasons are different. Like when you hide that you have done a bad thing, I think that that's selfish because you don't want to come to terms. You don't want to other people to blame you. You don't want their good opinion to go away. On the other hand, um, hiding that you're going to die is not because you have done anything bad. It's because either you don't want to worry them or you don't want to. I mean, it's the reasoning between the kind of lies is
But
different.
again, it comes back to what David. Okay, maybe the Killian Ursula parallel is not a good one, but the David Snow parallel is absolutely 100% legit. And Snow was
Mm.
actually upset, and she had a right to be upset because
Yeah.
she said to David, "You should have told me this. You did not believe in us enough to tell me this." And David says, "I know." Like David knew what he was doing was wrong. He knew keeping this from her was
I
wrong,
think
and he did it
David's
anyway. And now
David's thing was
Emma
worse
Emma
though.
Emma knows this is wrong. She said to Archie, she knows I should tell them. That she's like, I know I should tell them, but I don't feel like I can because of all this other crap going on.
And I mean, another thing is okay, one is that she doesn't want to worry them, but I think another is maybe if she says it, if everyone knows, if everyone maybe starts to say, oh, what can we do? What should we do? That also becomes more real. Like she has to definitely deal with it when everyone else knows. While
And right now she can
right
ignore
now
it.
she can ignore it. She can just say, okay, if it happens, it happens, but I don't have to like face it until it does happen.
And
And,
that's a very typical Emma way of handling things. Don't
well, yeah,
acknowledge it. Don't say it because then it won't be real.
but the problem is she knows it's real because her hand keeps shaking. And she has to keep coming up with excuses why her hand's shaking. She's got a physical thing that's telling her that this is happening. She can't just keep ignoring it. Like it's not going to go away. Like the
I
only way to deal
guess
with this is to deal with it head on.
I guess my problem is more to do with the stupidity of the plot because it came right after the season 5 thing. They went to the underworld and Killian came back from the underworld. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, again, she didn't confirm it with anybody. She believed the villains. She believed Hyde and she believed Oracle, who she doesn't know from Adam. So it's, again, these are issues with writing. I don't know how it's ever going to change. I
I
mean,
wholeheartedly agree
we're,
with
we're
that.
definitely writing issues there. The pacing of everything is so off.
And the fact that we're having this angst on top of, you know, Dark One, they had to kill, she had to kill him, they had to go to the underworld, and then she had to leave him there. I mean, seriously, I'm angsted out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm burnt out on Captain Swan angst.
Yep.
I wish I was more invested in. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm really invested because I have really strong opinions about it. Mostly because this trope is my most hated, despised trope. Like I hate the keeping secrets trope. Like I despise it. It's a storytelling crutch that TV writers, especially, fall on way too much, and it drives me bananas. So I'm just frustrated with the writing and the fact that they're piling this angst on top of the last angst. And I know people are saying, but them having this angst means they're front and center. I'm like, okay, wait, no. They can be. There are plenty of interpersonal relationship things that could go along with this whole moving in thing and being a father figure to Henry and stuff, that has nothing to do with this. That since Emma's the main character, would be front and center. So they don't need this. They're just doing it for the dramas, and I hate that.
Okay, so I guess that was the last question.
Yeah.
We are ending on a sad note. This is a bummer. Anyway, okay. So if that's the end, does anyone have any last comments?
Mm-mm.
No,
Nope.
not really.
Okay, that's fine. That's the end. Uh, so thank you everyone for listening, and we will be back next week. Bye.
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 Bye.